But I want you to look at some in this chapter that's just like, how can we have that argument, read our Bibles and still have this argument? Because Jesus paid the price to forgive me of my sin. So he washes me clean. I'm vindicated. I'm justified, which means just as if I never sinned. I stand before him and I'm righteous in his sight, which means no sense of guilt, condemnation, or shame. Sounds like the blood of Jesus is amazing. Boy, we ought to make much of it. I think sometimes we think it's humility to talk about our failures. Wonder if it's false humility. Wonder if we should talk about his success, not in pride, to bring honor to him so that what he paid for actually comes on our life. Here's what I've learned in my life. If I would get tricked into waking up in sincerity, sincere heart, wake up and purpose to try not to sin, I'm going to be sin conscious. It'll do me no good. It sounds like a holy mentality. Wake up and try not to sin. No, you're called to wake up and be his. Wake up and be forgiven. Wake up and be accepted in the beloved. Wake up and wear righteousness. Yeah? You're not waking up and trying not to sin. You're waking up enjoying being his. And it says that if I put on righteousness and I present my members unto righteousness, righteousness itself, the power of right standing with God that's been given by God through the blood of Jesus Christ, will actually work in me holiness. It's scriptural, without me biting my lip trying to be holy. So I don't get a holy trophy someday. All of a sudden my life becomes a product of what I believe. And what I see starts to put an identity on me, and that identity has an expression. Are you with me? That's what it means to be saved by grace through faith. I believe something he accomplished, and what he accomplished becomes my reality. And guess who gets all the glory? Woo! Why? Because we are what we are by the grace of God. Isn't that something? But if you wake up and all you're doing is trying not to sin, you'll be nitpicky, fault-finding. You'll just think yourself for everything you're failing in. You'll have a pure heart, but you'll feel condemned because you're not living up to your desire. And you're just taking tests day after day that God never laid on your desk. And then you're grading the scores. That's what people do. And then you begin to see yourself a certain way. And you know the paradox of that? You love your neighbor as yourself. So the way you see yourself is the way you see everybody. Now you're nitpicky and fault-finding, and now you're not the only egg in the basket because people have their issues too, and now you don't feel as bad. Ain't that something? Wonder if you actually love your neighbor as yourself and you see yourself healthy and clear in God. Wonder if it's not arrogance. Wonder if it's faith. Wonder if you actually understand what the gospel did, and that he snatched you out of darkness and he put you into his marvelous light. Wonder if you actually understand that you were blind, but now you see, and you were lost, but now you're found. And no matter how you were living, he said, you, son, can be so much more. And he washes you clean and breathes his life into you. I wonder if you actually see yourself that way, and you begin to love yourself in the most healthy way in God, and you love what you've become, you love what he paid for, and you love what he created you to be. And all of a sudden, when you see your neighbor, you have the best view of them you've ever had, and you begin to love your neighbor as yourself. You know why so many people struggle with people? Because they struggle with themselves. And the way they see themselves is the way they see others. Ain't that something?